Welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I am the guy who picked Frankie Edgar to defeat Corey Sandhagen. And I'm here to talk about Alex Morono versus Tim Means. Alex Morono is 22-8. He's 32 years old, and he's taken on Tim Means, who is 32-14-1, and he's 39 years old. Means will also have 3 inches of height and 3 inches of reach on Morono. Means, look, he's been submitted 6 times in his 14 losses. And Morono, he doesn't have too many big submission victories. His 2 biggest subs are guillotines over Derek Krantz and Josh Berkman, the only win he has by submission in the UFC. Those are still very good fighters, and that's precisely the kind of submission he could catch Means in, especially if he has him hurt. But I don't think he will get him out of there by submission. I think a knockout is the only path to a finish for either fighter, and I don't think that's very likely either. With Tim Means getting knocked out, I suppose it could happen if he was faded, and he is 39 years old, so it's certainly possible, and Morono can crack. But Means only has one legitimate knockout loss, and it's to Nico Price, who is exceptionally fucking dangerous. If you don't believe me, just ask Tim Means' opponent, Alex Morono. Morono did get knocked out by him, I should say, in the final seconds of round 1, but the fight was overturned because Nico tested positive for whatever the fuck. I never pay attention to the drugs. I don't know. But Means, again, despite being 39, he's only been finished once by knockout. The other time he lost by TKO or knockout, it was an injury, and it was way the fuck back. So he seems like he's got a pretty healthy chin. I think where age might catch up to him is with work rate and speed, which he was never really the fastest fighter to begin with. But Alex Morono's a guy who will have speed and work rate on his side here. Volume. Morono's definitely the better outside fighter, despite being 3 inches shorter and giving up 3 inches of reach. With his movement, he just covers a lot of ground, and he's faster than he looks and more powerful than he looks. Sure, he's not a powerful fighter, and he's not an athletic fighter. I mean, you could tell by looking at him. But on the flip side of that, guys who are on the other end of the spectrum are able to fight harder for 15 minutes, which is something we've seen from Morono. He's been the distance many times, and typically he's the guy that's working harder. I know Semmelsberger got the better of him in round 3, but he still did enough work there where he got the victory. He's gotten big decision wins over Mickey Gall, David Zavada, Rhys McKee. All right, maybe not such a big victory. Max Griffin, if you go back, Zach Otto, Kanan Sung. Alex Morono definitely, he's put together a nice resume in the UFC. His finest moment is his knockout win over Cowboy in round 1. And that probably would have been his finest moment even if he won the Ponzinibbio fight. But the Ponzinibbio one would have been a better victory in my opinion. He came so close to getting that victory, taking that fight on short notice, and just, Ponzinibbio caught him in round 3. It is what it is, though. Morono, he's been knocked out 3 times. I don't know if I mentioned this. Ponzinibbio by knockout in round 3. Chaos Williams knocked him out in seconds. And this guy, Diego Henrique da Silva, knocked him out before he got to the UFC. Also in round 1, I believe. And then Nico Price knocked him out in the final seconds of round 1. But again, it was overturned. Still, he was unconscious there. So Morono, even though he loses mostly by decision, and those are over good fighters as well, he does, have a weaker chin than most, I'd want to say. Certainly it's something that I question moving forward. If he loses 4 fights, at least one of them, if not 2 or 3 of them, is going to be by knockout, in my opinion. But Morono, I trust him more. I think he's a more healthy fighter here. I trust him to win the outside fighting against Tim Means. He's got to watch the counters because Tim Means does have 3 inches of height, 3 inches of reach. And Tim is, he uses it all with his hands. Great coordination with his hands. He's not the greatest kicker, even though I think I said that last time and he started using more kicks against Max Griffin. But Tim Means is... he's always been kind of a limited fighter, and I think he's just only getting older. At 39 years old, again, I expect him to be a little slower here, and Morono only to be a little faster. I think Morono's taken the time off to rebound after that Ponzinibbio loss. And Ponzinibbio came back already to fight Kevin Holland a month ago. So Morono being in good shape and me trusting his work rate and trusting his chin to hold up here against Tim Means, I'm taking him to win a decision. That's my pick. Alex Morono, his money line is -130. There are no prop bets as of now, but that's definitely my pick. Morono getting the decision victory. Like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. Check out my other videos.